welcome everyone, my name's A-3151 and today we're covering the A-3151, which essentially looks like the older brother to the A-469. The only reason I would draw that conclusion is they essentially look exactly the same, except for a few details. One, this one's blue and has a hard top instead of a soft top, and two, this one has larger mudder tires. And it has a front bash bar, so it's a little more built for off-roading than its counterpart. So we'll essentially call this one the Big Brother. Today, we're going to see whether or not Big Brother is actually good at being a Big Brother. Start it off with a clean slate, and we'll bring ourselves up to the first portion of the test. So, we're at the first phase of Can It Mud. Now, let's see, can it mud? Alright, we've come to a stop and we'll turn on all-wheel drive. It was able to recover after we turned on all wheels, so we'll allow it. Then move on to the ruts. That's the end of Phase 1. Now, we'll move ourselves to Phase 2. Alright, this is the start of Phase 2. And we'll want to turn off diff and all-wheel, and we'll begin. So far, we haven't had to turn on anything during this phase, so far so good. Oh, and we proceeded to get stuck, so let's try turning on all-wheel. One little rock ruins the whole fun. That's the end of Phase 2. Now we'll bring ourselves up to the start of Phase 3. Bring the front tire up to there, and we'll turn off all-wheel. And begin. So far, not so great. And that's the end of that. Bring ourselves over to here. Come to a stop, and let go. And that's the end of that phase. Bring ourselves to the middle. Right about there. Turn off all-wheel, and begin. As we can see, by default, this vehicle is a rear-wheel drive, just like its little brother. We've slowed below 1 meters per second, so we'll turn on all-wheel drive. A little bit better. Now, this was the first portion where the UAZ struggled last time. We'll see if this portion is any better for the bigger brother. Well, we started off with some progress. We'll see if swing tire a little. Alright, we have dropped below 1 meters per second, so we'll turn on differential lock and see if that helps us any. Just as with the smaller one, we have come across a problem. So, we'll try backing up and finding a new line. And take one closer to newer mud. Still having an issue, so we'll try backing ourselves more with the gradient. And that seems to have backfired on us. So we'll try again with newer mud. And we're stuck again. So, it is time for the rescue, Drazi. Or Dron Mozzie. Alright. I made that easy. Park this over here, because if it's like its little brother, it's going to get stuck on this phase as well. Turn off the engine, not that we're too concerned about the fuel usage of a nuclear reactor, but all the same. So with that portion voided, we'll bring ourselves to the next phase. Turn off differential and all-wheel, and we'll begin. And that's the end of that phase. There we go. And final phase of resets. Turn off those two and begin. Alright, we're stuck in that sense, so we'll turn on all-wheel. Alright, we'll turn on differential lock and see if we can cover a little more ground. Try turning off to the side. And since we're so close, we'll not even bother with winching. And there we are. That's that set of phases out of the way. Now for the last three. Can take the same line as its little brother did and go all the way over to the left. Wheel over there. Then we'll make sure our diff and all-wheel are on, refill it, and here we go. And we have reached the tree. to the water fording portion. Now, since the little one didn't really struggle, I don't imagine this one will struggle. If it does, well, I guess water just doesn't like this. And begin. Seems that the bigger tires are affording it more breathing room, but not really helping with crossing the water as quickly. We're still reaching portions where the water level is rising just enough, or it might actually start drowning the engine. And it looks like our driver is deciding to take a nap. We're going so slow. It's not really anything for us to winch onto, but we're still technically moving. Come on, we're almost there. 2 tires out of the water, and that's the end of that phase. A little more of a struggle than it seemed for the other one, but the times will determine that. Alright, so now that we're here, we'll lock the wheel, slam it into first, turn on the headlights, set it to night, make sure it's repaired and refueled, and begin. As to no one's surprise, we're below 1 meter per second. Let's see if I can zigzag or push it more into the new mud. I keep spiking every now and again, but it's not great. Even with all the options on, the bigger tires, the better ground clearance, and everything, it's still not doing very well, just like its predecessor. So, save ourselves some time, we're gonna swap, call it a dud, because no amount of backing up and going into new mod is really gonna save that from itself. But we'll at least see that it ends by making it through. Actually, we're gonna let it drive. We're gonna let it succeed. And that's the end of that portion. We'll release it, stop the engine, and change. And we'll make our way back so we can check out all the garage options and cover the end. far as needing assistance goes, this one was kind of a little more needy than the sense of its predecessor. But all in all, it still managed to make it through the course just about as well as the other one. At the end of the day, it didn't completely flip itself. We'll see. As the other one, it has a trailer, a spare wheel, and a trunk. So it can look exactly the same as the other one. But as far as can it mud? Yes. It made it through most of the course, and it got a nice new shiny coating of brownish dirt mud. This has been the A-3151. This has been Can It Mud, and I am Heli25. Thank you for stopping by. Feel free to leave a comment, like, and subscribe if you like it and you want to see more, because the more people like it, the more I'll make. If you want to leave a comment on how I'm doing, whether you like it or certain parts that you don't like, please, I'm open to constructive criticism, as long as it's constructive. Because just saying something sucks without giving me a reason doesn't tell me why it sucks, and I probably won't change it. I've been Heli25. Have a good rest of your day, everyone. And remember, hydrate, don't die.